Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, the strongest copy of Dragon Ball. Chapter 41. Woo, Goku, don't scare us. Hearing Son Goku's words, Krillin's expression changed when he saw the serious look, and said, Goku, is what you said true? Do you feel a special powerful aura? Tien Shinhan and Yamcha also frowned and asked. When they were on the planet King Kai, they clearly felt the powerful aura of Frieza. That is almost a power to destroy the world. Stronger than they can imagine. If his father and big brother are really stronger than Frieza, what kind of existence will he achieve? It is simply impossible for anyone to compete. I didn't feel their aura, I just had that feeling, and I don't know if it's accurate. Son Goku looked at the three of them and spoke. At present, he didn't feel any breath, what he said just now was just his feeling. However, although Son Goku just felt it, the brows of the three did not relax. Goku is definitely not the kind of person who creates something out of nothing. Perhaps, as he said, the hidden danger is really on the way. Okay, no matter what, let's practice hard. Seeing everyone's worried faces, Son Goku spoke again. I must practice quickly, and try my best to become a Super Saiyan when the danger is approaching, so that I can fight those guys. Aha! Keelan and the others also nodded quickly. After being told by Goku, they really got a little nervous. In this way, a month passed quickly. In universe, the universe ship of Frieza et al. Is fast. And in front of them, a blue planet appeared. Dad, that's the Earth. Frieza looked at the blue planet that appeared in front of her with gloomy eyes, and said to Kurt and Cooler. Hearing Frieza's words, Kurt also stood up, walked to the front of the warehouse window, and glanced at the blue planet, which was not too big or small. He said lightly, is it just such a small planet? One energy ball will be destroyed, so why bother wasting time? Indeed, destroying an Earth is a very easy task for any of the three of them. It can be destroyed almost with a gesture of the hand. That's true, Dad, but if that's the case, it's too cheap for those ants. I must crush their bones with my own hands. Frieza gritted her teeth and said, her resentful tone was full of boundless anger. Those ants brought me not only physical pain, but also a scar on the soul. Scars that don't heal, how could they die so easily? In that case, how can I get rid of the burning anger in my heart? Okay, then let's go and see what that Super Saiyan is capable of. Looking at Frieza, whose eyes were burning with anger, King Cold spoke. Anyway, at most it is a trip. Brush, the spaceship of universe flashes away again, disappears into universe, and falls to Earth. At this time, Son Goku, who was practicing, suddenly frowned. They're coming. Son Goku suddenly felt three terrifying auras at this moment, and those three auras were very evil, and they were even more astonishing than he expected. Don't think about it, it must be Frieza and his son. Frieza is angry, how could he not die? Son Gohan on the side was terrified, and he also felt the three breaths, and one of them was very familiar. It's Frieza's anger, but wasn't that guy killed by Lin Yan uncle when he was in Namek? Why did he come back to life again? Son Gohan couldn't figure it out. Could it be that he was resurrected with Namek's Dragon Ball? Next, there may be an uphill battle, are you ready? Gohan. Son Goku looked at Son Gohan seriously, and said. Son Gohan nodded heavily, with a frightened look in his eyes. After all, that guy Frieza is really scary. He still has a lingering fear of the evil Frieza. They should be in the position over there, let's go over there. Son Goku pointed to a direction in front of him and said to Son Gohan. He could feel that the three breaths should come to that position. At this time, not only Son Gohan and Son Gohan, Piccolo, Keelan, Tien Shinhan and others also felt the aura of the Frieza three. Because they are familiar with Frieza's breath. There are also two more powerful auras, which should be Frieza's father and big brother that Lin Yan mentioned. Although he was afraid, he still gritted his teeth and rushed towards the direction of the three breaths. 10 minutes later, Piccolo, Keelan, Tien Shinhan and others rushed to the place where the three breaths came from. And Son Goku and Son Gohan have already arrived. Hiding on a mountaintop, frowning and observing the situation. Goku, Gohan. After the four of Piccolo and Klin fell down, they frowned and shouted, as if asking them what countermeasures they had. They are coming soon, everyone hide first. Son Goku didn't turn his head back, he still stared at the midair solemnly, and said. Each of the 3 breaths was so strong that he felt powerless. He originally thought that he had cultivated enough in the past 3 years, but now it seems that his strength is not worth mentioning at all. Buzz buzz. Accompanied by bursts of ear-piercing buzzing sounds, the gravel and dust on the ground rose up, and a terrifying air wave descended from the sky. Coming. Son Goku suddenly made a sound, and everyone behind him held their breath at this moment, completely hiding their aura. Accompanied by that terrifying strong air wave, a giant universe spaceship slowly descended from midair. Rumbling. Just a few seconds later, the gigantic universe spaceship landed on the ground. Creak. Then, the door of the universe spaceship was opened, and 3 figures came out first, followed by 7 or 8 strange-looking figures in universe suits, standing respectfully behind the 3 of them. And these dozens of people are the Frieza father and son and the subordinates who came to Earth to seek revenge. Is this the Earth? It looks like a planet with a good environment. Kurd glanced around, smiled coldly and said, "It's just that this beautiful planet will soon become dust in the universe. Speaking of it, it's really a pity. It seems that those idiots haven't noticed our arrival yet." Cooler looked at the empty valley, and said in a flat tone with an arc drawn at the corner of his mouth. His tone and eyes were full of disdain. "Then, let me give them a big gift first." Frieza smiled sullenly, stepped forward, and slapped her tail heavily on the ground. The ground cracked instantly, and then the right hand was raised high, and a purple energy ball appeared in the hand. At first it was only the size of a marble, but as time passed, it directly became as huge as a stone mill. This energy ball, even if it can't blast this planet into pieces, it will definitely kill more than half of the human beings on this planet. At that time, I don't know which Saiyan and those 2 little devils, and what kind of expressions will they have. However, they must know that the price to be paid for offending him, the Emperor of the Universe, Frieza, is definitely not something they can bear. But, what does that guy want to do? Is he going to destroy the entire Earth? The people on the mountaintop in the distance looked at the terrifying energy ball that Frieza condensed, and said in a deep voice. Even if that energy ball can't destroy the Earth, it will definitely cause the Earth to suffer huge damage. Even kill most of the humans. Son Goku is also very anxious. He must not just sit idly by, but at the moment when Frieza and the others appeared, he could feel the huge gap between them. Even if all of them fight together, there is no way to beat any one of them. Not to mention, there are 3. What should I do? You can't watch that guy destroy the Earth. Tien Shinhan dug his fingers tightly into the hard ground, and said in a dignified tone. But he also felt that the horror of Frieza, father and son, was not on the same level as them at all. Even the strongest Goku is far behind them. Is the Earth really doomed this time? If Lin Yan uncle was here, maybe we. Before Son Gohan finished speaking, he was interrupted by Son Goku. Perhaps even if he is here, he won't be able to deal with the 3 of them. Son Goku shook his head and said. Originally, he thought that fighting Frieza would make his blood boil, but now it seemed like he had been poured cold water, and he couldn't arouse the desire to fight. He is very clear that once he fails, the entire Earth will be in crisis of destruction. This is no joke. Ho 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 ho, then let the pleasant moment begin. An evil smile like a devil flashed across Frieza's face, and the energy ball on his fingertips directly pointed out. Flew towards the direction of Exodus not far away. Then a look of anticipation appeared on his face, waiting for the next exciting and gorgeous fireworks. And at the moment Frieza released the energy ball from his fingertips, a ki blast also suddenly appeared out of thin air. Whoosh! At the same time as the low-pitched sound of breaking through the air, a strand of Blue's ki blast directly collided with Purple's huge energy ball. Boom! The next moment, Purple's energy ball exploded like fireworks. The terrifying shock wave generated by the explosion directly collapsed several nearby mountains, and a huge charred pit appeared on the ground. What? Both Frieza and Kurd were surprised, but they didn't expect Frieza's energy ball to be blocked. Then he turned his gloomy gaze to the place where the ki blast flew out just now. Son Goku knew that since he had already made a move, he couldn't hide any longer, so he jumped up and appeared in front of Frieza, father and son. Frieza, I will never allow you to destroy the Earth. Son Goku punched me, stared at Frieza firmly, and said coldly. You are, Saiyan. The moment Frieza saw Son Goku, he was startled suddenly, because that face, that voice, and that hairstyle all made him feel very familiar. Suddenly, a clear picture appeared in my mind. 24 years ago, on planet Vegeta, when he was destroying planet Vegeta, only one Saiyan stood up to fight against him. Frieza, this is my final attack. That voice suddenly appeared in Frieza's mind when he saw this face. Oh, so it's Saiyan's son. No wonder he looks exactly the same, even with the same rebellious expression. After a moment of absence, Frieza looked at Son Goku jokingly and said, "However, as long as you are Saiyan, you will be, and your end will be the same as your father." My dad. Son Goku froze for a moment. It seemed that what Frieza was talking about should be his biological father on planet Vegeta, but he had no impression of him at all, let alone feelings for him. "Well, although I don't know what you're talking about, I absolutely don't allow you to run wild on Earth." At the same time as the cold voice fell, Son Goku separated his feet, sank his center of gravity, and made a fighting posture with his hands clawed one after the other. He knew very well in his heart that under such circumstances, fighting was inevitable. "You won't allow it? Ho 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 ho. Saiyan, are you going to laugh at me? Just because you want to stop me, Frieza? This is really the funniest joke I've ever heard." Hearing Son Goku's words, Frieza let out a sharp, devilish laugh as if he had heard the funniest joke, and pointed at Son Goku's disdainful opening. "Saiyan is as arrogant as ever, so arrogant that people hate it." "Is that so? Then why were you almost killed by Lin Yan, who is also a Saiyan?" Frieza's sharp laugh is very uncomfortable, even annoying. Son Goku suddenly smiled and said, "Both he and Lin Yan are Saiyan. Since Lin Yan can become a Super Saiyan and beat Frieza, then he can too." "What?" Hearing Son Goku's words, the smile on Frieza's face stopped abruptly, followed by endless anger. His face was so gloomy that he was about to drip ink, and the corners of his eyes kept twitching. Being defeated by that dirty wild monkey and almost being killed was a pain he would never forget. His body, his soul, his dignity are all damaged beyond repair. He will never forget that uncomfortable and suffocating feeling, and he doesn't want to be mentioned. But this wild monkey was so ignorant that he dared to mention this matter that most aroused his anger in front of him. "Absolutely, absolutely. You guys, let me kill all the people on Earth." Frieza turned his head, gritted his teeth and gave orders to the 7 or 8 universe people behind him. At this moment, Frieza, like a cat whose tail has been stepped on, is so angry that he almost loses his mind. Surging killing intent surged in his eyes. "Yes, Lord Frieza." The few people behind looked at the furious Frieza, and nodded respectfully with horror. Then, with a flash of his body, he flew towards the town of Exodus. The combat power detector shows that there are a large number of humans over there, although the combat power is all rubbish with a combat power of less than 10. At this time, Piccolo and others with the cat behind were trembling all over their bodies. Furious Frieza, that aura made people feel even more desperate. "It's, monster, you survived the hands of such a monster in Namek." Yamcha looked terrified and muttered to himself in a daze. When they were on the planet King Kai, they had felt the breath of Frieza, but feeling it at such a close distance is a completely different feeling. They will definitely be all killed, and the entire Earth will be destroyed. There is no hope at all. "TCH, Son Goku is out, how can I hide here?" Piccolo gritted his teeth, thinking about it in his heart, struggling crazily on his face. "If you keep being timid like this, it is impossible to improve your strength at all, and you will never be able to catch up with Son Goku's footsteps." Then, the body flashed out and appeared directly in front of a universe person. Hey! With a punch, it directly penetrated the mouth of the universe man. "Piccolo uncle." Seeing that Piccolo had gone out, Son Gohan also followed and kicked another universe person away. "Although I may be killed, I can't shrink back at this time." Tien Shinhan also gritted his teeth, and landed next to Piccolo and Son Gohan, looking at Frieza and his son with serious eyes. "Oh, I thought I would be safe if I escaped from Namek, but I didn't expect to die." With fear and helplessness on his face, Kalen finally stood up. He knew very well in his heart that with Frieza's brutal character, he would definitely be killed by them all, and then the Earth would be destroyed. So he has nowhere to escape. Feng Zheng is dead anyway, dying standing up is better than dying on his stomach, he looks more manly. Crazy, they are all crazy, we will all be killed by those monsters. At this time, everyone went out, only Yamcha was weak behind a piece of gravel, still in a state of absence, talking to himself with a terrified expression. But he can't be blamed for this. After all, among all of them, his strength is the lowest, even if he goes out, he won't be of much help. After Piccolo, Son Gohan and others went out, they easily intercepted those 7 or 8 universe people and killed them all. Hey, I didn't expect so many people to be hiding. Those 2 brats are also there. It saves me a lot of time to find them. When Frieza saw Piccolo and others appearing, she was slightly startled at first, and then said in a soft voice. Those 2 brats were the main culprits who sabotaged his plan of immortality. Apart from that wild monkey, the 2 of them he wanted to crush to death most were the 2 of them. Oh, is there even a helper? Then, let me play too. Cooler, who was standing behind Frieza without speaking, suddenly became interested when he looked at Piccolo and the others, and let out a creepy laugh. The body flashed, leaving only an afterimage on the spot, and when it reappeared, it was already in front of Piccolo. Good, so fast. Horror, surprise, sweat broke out on Son Goku's forehead instantly. He didn't even see clearly how that guy appeared beside Piccolo and the others just now. Didn't see anything clearly. Seeing Cooler suddenly appearing in front of Piccolo, Krillin and Son Goku retreated instinctively, and there was a sound of panic in their throats. The fear that Frieza brought to them a year ago lingered in their hearts again. It was too fast, so fast that they couldn't react at all. My God, are we really going to fight this monster? Tien Shinhan also had a look of horror on his face, thinking in horror. If that guy wanted to kill Piccolo, the current Piccolo must have been a cold corpse, and there was no room for resistance at all. As for Piccolo, his pupils kept constricting, his forehead was sweating, and the breath of death enveloped him instantly. ... Ho, are you scared out of your wits like this? It seems that compared to that Super Saiyan, you are really weak like a few ants. Frieza narrowed his eyes slowly, looked at Son Goku and said with a cold smile. That laughter was as creepy as a devil's laughter. But, that guy is really too strong, my strength is not at the same level as theirs. Son Goku also narrowed his eyes slightly, thinking anxiously in his heart. But his mind was spinning rapidly, thinking of countermeasures. It's just that I thought about it for a long time, but I didn't come up with an effective method. In the face of absolute strength, there is no opportunism at all. Cooler ignored Son Goku and Frieza, but raised his fingertips slightly. Pointing to Piccolo's mouth, the gloomy voice said, "Then who should start this game? Is it you, or is it you, or is it you?" Cooler pointed at Tien Shinhan, Keelan and Son Gohan one by one, and said jokingly. And the feeling of waiting to be judged made the 3 of them terrified to the extreme. Because they don't know who that guy will attack first, and who will be killed first. Your face makes me very uncomfortable, let's start with you. Suddenly, Cooler looked at Piccolo's eyes suddenly turned cold, and pointed his fingertips directly at Piccolo's right mouth, and a purple beam of light flashed past. Bark! Before everyone could react, the beam shot out from Piccolo's back. But Piccolo's body flew upside down in an instant due to the huge momentum, and hit the mountain heavily. Wow! Then a mouthful of Purple's blood spit out, and the whole person limply lay on the ground. Piccolo uncle! Piccolo! Piccolo! Son Gohan, Son Goku and the others shouted out in shock almost at the same time. Unexpectedly, Piccolo was instantly killed in an instant. Son Gohan flashed and appeared directly in front of Piccolo, looking nervously at the dark hole in front of Piccolo. Fortunately, it only hit the hunk on the right side without hurting the heart, so the breath of Piccolo uncle can still be felt. That guy must have intentionally not killed Piccolo uncle, otherwise, with his strength, trying to kill Piccolo uncle would be as simple as drinking water. So who's next? Cooler's eyes swept over Keelan, Tien Shinhan and Son Gohan again. Then the gloomy gaze finally fell on Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan only felt a thump in his heart, as if he was being targeted by a poisonous snake, and the breath of death rushed to his face instantly. Be careful with Tien Shinhan. Son Goku seemed to see that Cooler was going to attack Tien Shinhan, so while reminding Tien Shinhan, his body flashed directly towards Cooler, trying to stop Cooler. Want to save someone? Take care of yourself first. The stinky monkey. Frieza's mouth showed a frightening arc, and then it also flashed out. The speed obviously surpassed Son Goku completely, and he appeared in front of Son Goku in an instant, punching Son Goku's head with a punch. I don't mean to hold back at all. What? Son Goku was shocked. He didn't expect Frieza's speed to be astonishingly fast, then he quickly raised his arms and merged to block in front of him. Boom! The moment the deep sound sounded, Son Goku flew out like a fired shell, directly smashing a mountain before falling down. Ahem! Coughing twice violently, a mouthful of blood spurted out, Son Goku felt dizzy for a while. The punch just now was really terrifying, his arms almost completely lost consciousness in an instant. Good. What a terrifying power. Son Goku lowered his hands, his brows furrowed deeper. Whether it is speed or strength, Frieza completely surpassed himself. If the fight continues like this, they really have no hope of winning. Although he doesn't want to be discouraged, it is a fact. Is this the end? Frieza looked at Son Goku, obviously injured by the punch he had just received. He didn't even use a tenth of his strength for that punch just now, otherwise that stinky monkey would have been decapitated. But if it ended like this, it would be too boring. How could you let them die like this without nagging the expressions of grief, fear, despair and heart-piercing on their faces? At the same time that Son Goku was punched by Frieza, Tien Shinhan was also punched by Cooler. His body hit the ground heavily in a straight line, and he fainted immediately. At this time, King Kai and Earth's god Shendu were feeling the aura of Frieza and Son Goku with strong worried faces. It's over, it seems that the Earth is really hopeless this time. King Kai rubbed his hands anxiously, but his 3,000 points of combat power couldn't help them at all. How to do? King Kai kept wondering, with a very heavy expression. Suddenly, a gleam flashed in his eyes, as if he had thought of something. It is to communicate directly with the gods and souls of the earth. Master Kai, do you have any way to restrain Frieza and the others? In the Temple of Heaven, the God of Heaven spoke excitedly. At this time, Lord Kai took the initiative to contact him. He must have thought of the team uniform Frieza and the others. I did think of a way, but I just don't know if it's feasible. Listen carefully. King Kai didn't hide anything, he just expressed his thoughts to the gods. And the first step of this method is to find 7 Dragon Balls. Well, I know Lord Kai. After listening to King Kai's method, the immortal nodded very seriously. Although he felt that Master King Kai's method was not the best solution, but now it seems that this is the only way to save the Earth. Actually speaking, this is actually a dangerous gamble. It's just that it seems that Son Goku and Piccolo can't resist Frieza and his son at all, and they can't care so much. Mr. Popo, I'm going to visit the Earth, you take good care of the Temple of Heaven. After the immortal greeted Mr. Popo, he immediately jumped down from the Temple of Heaven. Soon, the figure of the fairy appeared in Bulma's house. What? Frieza and the others are already here. Bulma looked at the fairy with a face full of horror and asked. For Frieza, that universe-level big villain, she has great fear in her heart. Of course, I also feel afraid of this fairy who looks the same as Piccolo. After all, Piccolo a few years ago wanted to rule the world. Well, Goku and Piccolo may not be able to get rid of Frieza and his son, so now we need to use the power of Dragon Ball. The fairy nodded, and said eagerly. Because the Frieza father and son want to destroy the Earth is too simple. When they get tired of playing, the Earth will be destroyed by them in an instant. You wait. Hearing the urgent tone of the fairy, Bulma also said very seriously, and then walked into the room. Half a minute later, he came out again, holding 7 Dragon Balls in his arms. During this year, Goku and the others have already collected all the Dragon Balls, just waiting for Frieza and the others to come in handy. Bulma said to the fairy while walking. It seems that 7 Dragon Ball finally came in handy, and they were right to plan for a rainy day. After placing the Dragon Balls on the ground, Bulma yelled directly at the 7 Dragon Balls. Come out, Shenron. Because I have used the Dragon Ball countless times, I am quite familiar with the spell to summon the Dragon Ball. After Bulma's voice fell, the 7 Dragon Balls on the ground emitted a golden light, and after a short while, the 7 golden lights gathered together and shot up into the sky. It turned into a meandering gold beam, when the sky suddenly darkened, and the gold beam turned into a green Shenron, hovering in midair. It looks much more pleasing to the eye than Belenga of the Namek Ball. Humans who summoned me, tell me your wish. I can help you realize any wish. Shenron stared at Bulma with a rough tone and asked. Ah, what is the wish? Suddenly, Bulma remembered that the fairy never told her what to wish for. And just after the sky darkened, Son Goku and others suddenly changed their expressions. They knew that Bulma had summoned Shenron. Why did Bulma summon Shenron now? Did she think of a way to deal with Frieza and the others? Son Goku frowned, thinking. Shenron is their last hope. It was originally planned to transfer all the Earthlings to other planets after they were killed. But now, although they are at a great disadvantage, they haven't lost yet. Why did they summon Shenron at this time? Son Gohan, Keelan and the others also looked puzzled. This was a bit different from what they had discussed before. Goku, listen to me, it's like this. And just when Son Goku was puzzled, King Kai's voice suddenly appeared in Son Goku's mind. Frieza, what's going on here? Kurd looked at the suddenly darkening sky and asked Frieza. But, is Earth's Dragon Ball resurrected? Looking at the situation in front of him, it was exactly the same as when the Namek Ball Shenron appeared, Frieza said through gritted teeth. But from Vegeta's detector, they clearly know that the Earth's Shenron should have disappeared. In the yard of Bulma's house. Wish. The god frowned, not knowing whether the next wish was a blessing or a curse. But then he gritted his teeth and said, please send Lin Yan to Earth. What? Lin Yan? Hearing Shen Xianfang's wish, Bulma was taken aback for a moment, and then he was overjoyed. Yes, why didn't she think of it? Lin Yan could easily kill Frieza a year ago, and he must have gotten stronger a year later. Frieza and his son are absolutely impossible to be Lin Yan's opponent. Shenron, please bring Lin Yan to Earth. Bulma looked up to Shenron and repeated. Okay, let me try. Shenron spoke again, because although it is not difficult to send a person to the Earth, if that person refuses to come back, there is no way for him to force him back. Beep. A red light suddenly appeared in Shenron's eyes. 1 breath, 2 sucks. 10 sucks. After 10 full breaths, Shenron still didn't speak. Both Bulma and Shenxian held their breath, with nervous expressions on their faces. You must come back, Lin Yan. Bulma clenched her fists tightly, praying silently in her heart. If Lin Yan refuses to come to Earth, then their wishes will be granted, and Shenron may disappear. Almost everything before them will be ruined. The Earth is really alone and helpless. Okay, your wish has come true, Lin Yan has been sent to Earth. Just when Bulma and Shenxian were too tense to speak, Shenron's voice suddenly sounded. Then, there will be a time later. After Shenron's voice fell, it directly turned into 7 gold rays of light and disappeared in different directions on the Earth. Great, Lin Yan is back, the Earth is saved now. Bulma Blue's eyes flickered with surprise, and she spoke excitedly. But the gods on the side were not as happy as Bulma. On the contrary, they seem very entangled. On the one hand, Lin Yan is their last hope. On the other hand, after all, Lin Yan is a Saiyan, a brutal fighting nation. But where was Lin Yan sent to? After Shenron disappeared, Bulma remembered that they just let Lin Yan return to Earth. But it didn't say where it appeared. Since he has already arrived on Earth, he should rush over soon. The fairy said, with Lin Yan's speed, as long as he is on the Earth, it shouldn't take too long to get to the place where Son Goku and the others are fighting. Now that Lin Yan is back, I'll go and see how he handles Frieza's villains. There was a touch of excitement on Bulma's face. He suddenly smiled and said, it seems that at this moment the fear of Frieza has weakened a lot. Forehead. The fairy face is speechless. Lin Yan's appearance, for the Earth, I don't know whether it will be a timely help or a worse situation. At this time, Lin Yan was standing on a piece of ice. Frieza and the others really came to Earth, but I didn't expect that Son Goku hasn't become a Super Saiyan yet. Feeling those breaths, Lin Yan whispered to himself. In fact, it is not too much of a surprise that Son Goku has not yet become a Super Saiyan. After all, in this year, he has not been tempered by the edge of life and death. At the same time, there has been no violent rage, and it is expected that he has not become Super Saiyan. Then his body flashed, turned into a stream of light, disappeared into the air, and rushed towards the place where the breath of Son Goku, Frieza and others came from. Although I don't know what they wished with Shenron, but I have no interest in playing anymore. Frieza watched the sky return to daylight and knew they had made their wish with the Dragon Ball. This made him very angry, and he wanted to have fun before killing them. But now, he no longer has that mood. But, who should start this massacre first? Frieza's gaze swept over the faces of Son Goku, Krillin, Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan one by one. Finally, he turned his attention to Krillin. The little bald head was the weakest, and when he was in Namek, preventing him from becoming immortal, this little bald head was a big hero. So it's perfect for him to start first. As for the Saiyan in front of me, let's save it for the last. After all, good things are always more delicious if they are saved until the end. And the moment Krillin was pushed on by Frieza, his body backed away subconsciously, and a wave of extreme fear spread from his heart. Why is it always me who is being targeted? Krillin yelled helplessly in his heart, could he be so easy to bully? Everyone's first goal will be fixed on themselves. Frieza, your opponent is me. Son Goku saw Frieza's intentions and knew that he was going to attack Krillin, so he stepped forward and stood in front of Frieza, shouting angrily. Piccolo has been injured, and he must never watch Krillin fall down again. Adversary, ho 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 ho, Saiyan, you take yourself too seriously. With your little fighting power, you are worthy to be my opponent of the Universe Emperor Frieza. It's really ridiculous. Frieza let out a creepy laugh and laughed disdainfully. The Saiyan in front of him should have a combat power of around 3 million, which is much stronger than his trash men. It can even be compared to the fighting power of his ultimate form in the Namek Ball a year ago. But the current self has been able to perfectly control 100% of the power. So 3 million combat power is not enough in front of him. Frieza, stop looking down on people. Son Goku gritted his teeth. Although he could feel the gap between them, he was still quite unhappy with Frieza's dismissive attitude. Oh, so what if I look down on you? Frieza shrugged indifferently, with an evil smile on his face, and then continued, not only do I look down on you, but I also want to kill that little bald head in front of you, so what can you do? At the same time as the cold voice fell, Frieza stretched out his left hand, and at this moment, Krillin's body suddenly floated up. It's as if the body is completely imprisoned. Woo, Goku. Krillin felt that his body could not move at all, and felt that the god of death was getting closer and closer to him, and a look of fear instantly appeared on his face. Stop it, Frieza, Son Goku roared out, and with a flash of his body, he directly attacked Frieza. Stop, ho 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 ho. The moment Frieza let out a gloomy laugh, he shook his left hand hard. Goku, burst. Krillin's horrified and desperate voice sounded at the same time as the explosion. Then Krillin's body was directly pinched and exploded, turning into a little bit of red light, scattered down. Krillin, Kling uncle. 3 voices sounded at the same time. Who? Just squeezed that little bald head, and Frieza laughed happily. That laughter is as scary as a devil. You actually killed Krillin, I will never forgive you. At this moment, Son Goku's whole body was trembling violently because of anger. His eyes were scarlet, and his anger almost made him lose his mind. He actually killed Krillin in front of his face. Frieza, absolutely unforgivable. Twitter. A deep voice came out of Son Goku's throat, his teeth were clenched, his face was full of anger, and the muscles in his whole body were constantly expanding, tightening, and expanding again. Veins squirmed like little snakes on Son Goku's forehead and arms. Brush. But at this moment, a crisp sound of breaking through the air suddenly sounded, and then a figure appeared out of nowhere in everyone's sight. Lin Yan uncle. When he saw that figure, Son Gohan was the first to react, and said in surprise when he saw the person coming. Didn't Lin Yan uncle go somewhere else? Why did he suddenly return to Earth? That wild monkey. Frieza's complexion changed suddenly, his body staggered uncontrollably, and he pointed at Lin Yan tremblingly, with a look of horror in his eyes. Although he vowed to kill Lin Yan all the way, but when that figure appeared in front of him in a serious manner, a feeling of fear suddenly rose in his heart. It can be seen that although a year has passed and his strength has become stronger, the psychological shadow left by Lin Yan on him has not weakened at all. Being so frightened by a monkey, Frieza, you're a disgrace to our family. Cooler looked at Lin Yan, who appeared suddenly, and then at Frieza, who looked terrified, and said to Frieza with disdain. Don't be nervous, Frieza. Even if he is really Super Saiyan, he will definitely not be our father and son's opponent. Kurd also spoke very confidently. In Lin Yan's body, he didn't feel how powerful it was. Ha, finally caught up. It seems that a classic scene will happen next. Lin Yan stood in midair, exhaled, and said lightly, ignoring everyone's gazes. Just now, he felt that Qilin's anger suddenly disappeared. Now Qilin was not found beside Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan, and looking at the furious Son Goku, it was obvious that Qilin had been killed by Frieza. Then next, the enraged Son Goku might turn into Super Saiyan. You killed Krillin. Son Goku's face was completely distorted at this time, and he muttered to himself, showing how angry he was. Krillin had told them the other day that he wished to get married once. Now, was actually killed by that trash. Son Goku, who was furious at this moment, didn't seem to notice Lin Yan's appearance at all. The next moment, a terrifying breath erupted from Son Goku's body instantly. The gravel under his feet was blown away directly, and then the whole ground began to tremble, shake slightly. Pieces of gravel were directly blown away by the terrifying aura, shooting in all directions like bullets. Brush. Suddenly, Son Goku's hair turned golden brown, and his pupils turned light green. But in an instant, it changed back to black again. The scene just now was like a hallucination, which was short-lived. Dad. Son Gohan rubbed his eyes. Just now he clearly saw that his father's hair has turned into golden yellow, exactly the same as when Lin Yan uncle turned into Super Saiyan. As this aura, is it really Goku's? Well, so powerful. Tien Shinhan was surprised and said tremblingly. There were turbulent waves in his heart, because Son Goku's anger instantly rose to a very terrifying level. Compared with before, it has almost skyrocketed by dozens of times. Maybe Goku is really going to become the Super Saiyan that Gohan and Kling talk about. The combat power of 3 million becomes 150 million Super Saiyan, which should be able to deal with Frieza. Lin Yan looked at Son Goku below indifferently, and murmured. The previous Son Goku, and Namek's time when Frieza used the power of the ultimate form should be similar. They all have a combat power of around 3 million. After becoming a Super Saiyan, their combat power instantly increases by 50 times. In the current form, it is a certainty that Son Goku will become Super Saiyan. Brother King Cold and Cooler looked at Son Goku with gloomy expressions. Although they couldn't sense the breath, they were also aware that the strength of the Saiyan in front of them began to skyrocket. It soared to the point where they all felt a sense of danger. In contrast, Lin Yan, who appeared suddenly, was ignored by them. Only Frieza looked at Lin Yan with hatred and horror. Twitter. An angry low roar continued to emanate from Son Goku's throat. At this time, the veins on Son Goku's forehead and neck were rioting. The next second, with an angry roar, blue lightning bolts poured down like raindrops and hit the ground. And at the same moment, with a buzzing sound, a streak of gold's arrogance burst out directly from Son Goku's body. Black's hair instantly turned into gold, and Shallow Green's pupils exuded a cold and violent aura. Rustle. Gold's arrogance was burning like a tumbling flame, while Son Goku's arrogance was raised to an almost terrifying level at this moment. What? Super Saiyan? No, impossible. Seeing Son Goku's successful transformation, Frieza shifted his gaze to Son Goku, his complexion changed drastically, and the look of horror and resentment in his pupils became more intense. This stinky monkey, how can he become a Super Saiyan? When did the legendary Super Saiyan start mass production? What Frieza? Is this Super Saiyan? At the moment he saw the blonde Son Goku, Kurd's eyes twitched violently. Although they talked eloquently before that they wanted to kill Super Saiyan, but when a real Super Saiyan stood in front of them, it was still difficult to restrain the panic in their hearts. After all, their ancestor Chilled used blood lessons to warn future generations not to mess with Saiyan whose hair turned into gold. Aha! Super Saiyan. Daddy has also become a Super Saiyan. Son Gohan shouted excitedly. Yes, Dad really turned into Super Saiyan because Dad is exactly the same as when Lin Yan uncle turned into Super Saiyan. God, oh my God. Is this the aura of Super Saiyan? It's so powerful that it makes people tremble, shake. Tien Shinhan's body trembled slightly, and he spoke in disbelief. Never thought that Goku, who grew up with them, had such unparalleled power in his body. But, hateful stinky monkey, even if you become Super Saiyan, you will never be my opponent. Frieza's face was very ugly, and a sharp voice roared out. Then he punched Son Goku directly. Boom! But the next moment, Frieza's fist was directly blocked by Son Goku, and then he flexed his fingers and clasped Frieza's fist tightly. He frowned slightly, and as soon as the hand holding Frieza's fist was tightened, a pained expression appeared on Frieza's face. Nani, how did this wild monkey become so powerful? Frieza was extremely shocked by the instant difference. After all, when Lin Yan and Frieza were fighting, Kaioken was turned on 20 times, and the combat power reached 110 million strength, and then transformed again and defeated Frieza. That kind of strength is a little bit of improvement, not far behind Frieza. But the current Son Goku, who had only a few million combat power before, did not expect to be promoted to such a level in a short period of time. It seems that I destroyed planet Vegeta 24 years ago and eliminated those wild monkeys as a very wise choice. But what he didn't expect was that so many wild monkeys survived. Get yourself into so much trouble. Frieza, even if you apologize to me now, I will never forgive you. Son Goku's eyes flickered coldly, and his tone became even colder as he spoke. This guy actually killed Keelan with a single gesture of his hand, taking indiscriminate killing of innocent people as his pastime. Absolutely can't let him go like this. Who will apologize to such a nasty monkey like you? Don't get carried away. Frieza gritted his teeth, and then a terrifying breath erupted from his body. Purple's aura instantly enveloped the bodies of the two of them, forming a series of fierce winds. And Frieza almost exhausted all his strength, trying to retract his fist. Son Goku's hands were like iron vices, tightly gripping his fist. Click! The ground beneath the two of them collapsed in an instant. It seems that Son Goku, who became Super Saiyan, has a combat power of 150 million. Lin Yan looked at Son Goku and Frieza, thinking secretly in his heart. Because the current Frieza can perfectly control 100% of her power after being repaired. Even stronger, probably in the range of 120 million to 150 million. But looking at Frieza's appearance, his combat effectiveness is obviously weaker than Son Goku's. But even if Son Goku can deal with Frieza, there is absolutely no way to defeat their father and son. It seems that when the time comes, I still need my own help. It's just that it's a bit of a loss to go back to Earth this time, because I have almost copied all of their skills. The rest are also useless moves. The only thing that can be seen clearly is the cultivation talents of Frieza and Cooler. After upgrading their copy system, they can copy their talents. In fact, in Dragon Ball Super, Frieza only relied on 4 months to cultivate to the strength comparable to Super Saiyan Blue's Golden Frieza, which is quite outstanding. It's just that after copying Broly's fighting talent and fighting potential, he doesn't seem to have much interest in Frieza's training talent. At this time, Son Goku suddenly let go of Frieza's fist, turned his head to Son Gohan and said lightly, "Gohan, Piccolo is still alive, you and Tien Shinhan take Piccolo to Kajunta, and get a piece from Kalen Immortal. A fairy bean for Piccolo." "But Dad, there are 3 of them." Son Gohan frowned and looked at Frieza, Cooler, and Curd. Among the 3, Frieza was the weakest. Even if his father defeated Frieza, he would definitely not be able to defeat the other 2. Even if Lin Yan Uncle is added, maybe they are not Frieza's opponent. Piccolo is going to die, the Dragon Ball of the Earth is gone again, do you understand, Gohan? Son Goku burst into a drink suddenly. In fact, now he just wants to support Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan. Because the combat power of the 2 of them is too low, if they stay here all the time, it will be very dangerous for him to fight Frieza later. Besides, there are Frieza's father and Frieza's big brother watching over him. If they attacked Gohan and Tien Shinhan when I was entangled with Frieza, I wouldn't be able to rescue them at all. Well, Dad, as soon as Son Gohan gritted his teeth, he nodded. Although he wanted to fight side by side with his father very much, he and Tien Shinhan could no longer help in the current battle. Staying here will only become a burden for Dad and Lin Yan Uncle of. At that time, if Frieza and the others use the two of them to blackmail Dad, they will be in trouble. Tien Shinhan also nodded, although very unwilling, but also unwilling to be a burden to Goku, so he nodded and picked up Piccolo and prepared to leave. Ho 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 ho, how could I watch you leave before my eyes? Frieza's sharp laughter sounded again, and his body instantly appeared behind Son Goku. His fingertips pointed directly at Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan, and a purple light emerged. Brush. Almost at the same moment, Son Goku's body also turned into an afterimage, and then appeared in front of Frieza, and squeezed Frieza's hand. The cold voice fell down. Keep your hands on your hands. Trash. Click. Son Goku squeezed Frieza's hand and broke it hard, only to hear a crisp sound. Frieza had a pained expression on his face, and the purple energy ball on his fingertips also disappeared. Cooler looked at Frieza and Son Goku, and knew that with Frieza's proud character, he would definitely not let them help now. But those little ants can help him solve it first. Then Cooler lifted it slightly, pointing his index finger at the backs of Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan. Want to escape? Did I agree? Go to hell. After the sinister voice fell, a purple energy beam appeared on the fingertips, and shot at the two of them directly. Brush. The moment the purple energy beam shot out, Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan felt a strong sense of danger. Then he turned around quickly, and then saw the purple beam, shooting at Son Gohan. Nani. There was a look of horror in the eyes of the two of them. The energy beam is so fast that there is no chance of dodging at all. Gohan. Son Goku found out what was going on there, but was entangled with Frieza and had no time to rescue Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan. And almost when the energy beam was less than 3 meters away from Son Gohan, a beam of blue's energy hit Cooler's attack. Boom. In the next second, the two energies collided and exploded directly. The terrifying impact immediately sent Son Gohan and Tien Shinhan flying. At this time, Lin Yan looked at Cooler indifferently, and said coldly, if you don't want to be killed by me so quickly, you should watch their battle carefully. After just giving Cooler a cold look, Lin Yan folded his hands on his chest again, and looked at Frieza and Son Goku. Trump, meddling stinky monkey. Seeing Lin Yan's proud expression, Cooler gritted his teeth angrily, although his personality is much calmer than Frieza's. But the arrogance in his bones seemed to be no weaker than Frieza. How could a Saiyan monkey be so contemptuous? This is absolutely intolerable. Since you like meddling so much, I'll kill you first. Wild monkey. Looking at Lin Yan, who was looking at Frieza and Son Goku seriously, Cooler showed a bloodthirsty look on his face. Then with a pinch of the palm, a purple energy ball blasted directly at Lin Yan. Boom. The next moment, Purple's energy ball exploded directly from around Lin Yan's body. Lin Yan uncle. Seeing Lin Yan being hit by Cooler's attack, Son Gohan cried out worriedly. Although he knew that Lin Yan uncle had become a Super Saiyan with terrifying strength, but that guy's attack was also very terrifying. Being hit head-on by an energy ball without any precautions, it is impossible to be unscathed. Cut. What kind of rubbish Super Saiyan? I thought it was so powerful. Even this kind of attack can't be avoided. With one hit, Cooler's mouth curled into a haughty arc, and he spoke in a disdainful tone. It seems that you are really tired of work, Cooler. And just as Cooler's disdainful voice fell, Lin Yan's faint voice came out from the billowing smoke. Whoosh. Then, there was a crisp sound of breaking through the air, and the billowing smoke was pulled out a long tail, and Lin Yan's body appeared in front of Cooler in an instant. No. Impossible. Seeing Lin Yan who suddenly appeared in front of him, Cooler suddenly turned pale with fright. Because Lin Yan who appeared in front of him didn't show any signs of injury at all. Even his clothes are intact. It feels like you haven't been hit by your own ball of energy at all. And the moment Lin Yan's body appeared, he punched Cooler directly, and the shadow of the punch was as fast as lightning, without giving Cooler any chance to react. Boom. The next moment, Lin Yan's fist landed heavily on Cooler's mouth, and the mouth suddenly collapsed, showing a clear fist mark. At the same time, like a cannonball fired from its chamber, the body smashed to the ground in an oblique and straight line at an extremely fast speed. Rumbling. In an instant, Cooler's body directly smashed into the ground, and a deep pit was smashed out of the hard ground, with spider web-like cracks opening at the edge. The whole earth trembled. Wow! Cooler spat out a mouthful of blood, and endless anger and fear intertwined in his eyes for an instant. That hateful stinky monkey is absolutely unforgivable. But at the same time, fear rose in my heart. Just one punch made me feel like my internal organs were about to be shattered. Strength flowed from his body little by little, as if it was very strenuous for him to stand up at this moment. Cooler. With a flash, Kurt appeared in front of Cooler. His face was incomparably heavy, and he could completely feel that Saiyan's fist that attacked Cooler just now contained unparalleled strength. That power definitely surpassed any of the three of them. And judging by his calm appearance, maybe he didn't try his best at all. At this time, Kurt actually began to back down in his heart. A dangerous feeling began to linger in my heart. I felt that if they continued to stay here, they might even have to confess their lives here. After Lin Yan seriously injured Cooler with a punch, he did not kill him, but continued to focus on Frieza and Son Goku. At this time, Frieza frowned even more when he saw that Cooler was seriously injured by Lin Yan's punch. It was quite a headache for two Super Saiyans to appear at the same time, but now that nasty stinky monkey has reached such a terrifying level of strength, able to severely injure Cooler, who is stronger than himself, with one punch. Could it be that his revenge this time is about to fail again? Or, to be killed by that nasty Saiyan again? No, absolutely impossible. Ya. Frieza let out a sharp roar, and suddenly a burst of purple flames appeared around his body. Break free from Son Goku's shackles. The Saiyan in front of me must be dealt with quickly. When the three of them join forces, no matter how strong that stinky monkey is, it is absolutely impossible to be the opponent of the three of them. With this in mind, two terrifying energy balls condensed in Frieza's palms, throwing it straight at Son Goku. Boom boom boom. In an instant, the ground around Son Goku's body was instantly blasted into a huge deep pit. Purple's billowing smoke spread from around Son Goku's body. Then I saw Son Goku's body. Although his clothes were torn to pieces, it was obvious that he had not suffered any substantial damage. It's my turn, Frieza. Son Goku's eyes sank, and his body burst out instantly, rushing directly towards Frieza. The shadow of the fist is like the wind, blasting towards Frieza like a machine gun. Frieza's speed is not slow at all, and she even avoided all of Son Goku's attacks. Wild monkey, it's impossible to hit me with this kind of attack. Frieza roared sharply while dodging all of Son Goku's attacks, with a look of madness in his eyes. Cut. Hearing Frieza's voice, Son Goku frowned, and the speed of his fist accelerated again. At this moment, only two black shadows could be seen flickering non-stop in the sky, and the explosion circles flickered one by one. The billowing air waves swept in all directions, driving waves of hurricanes. And at this moment, a buzzing sound came down from the sky suddenly. Hearing the buzzing sound, Lin Yan looked up and saw a small mini helicopter flying towards them. Bulma, how did she come to a place like this? Lin Yan's eyesight is amazing, so he immediately saw that the person flying the helicopter who appeared suddenly was Bulma. This girl is really courageous. It's okay to come to this kind of place. Lin Yan, Goku. Bulma poked his head out of the helicopter, looked at Lin Yan and Son Goku, and waved excitedly. But they didn't see Cooler and Kurt, who were falling at the bottom of the huge pit at this time. But when he heard the buzzing sound, Kurt had already spotted Bulma, and then he flashed his body and appeared directly in front of the helicopter, grabbing Bulma out. It's like grabbing a life-saving straw. Nani, who are you and what are you going to do? The moment he was caught by Kurt, the excitement on Bulma's face instantly turned into deep fear. Bulma. Son Goku turned his head and saw Bulma caught by Kurt, and cried out in surprise. Bulma got caught, now it's a bit of a problem. But Lin Yan was very calm, but there was indeed a layer of coldness in the depths of his pupils. Almost let the temperature of the whole space drop a bit. Kurt, let her go and I can leave you with a whole body. Then, Lin Yan stepped forward, his tone was very flat, but very cold. Hey, let her go. Don't dream, stinky monkey. Kurt laughed wildly, with a sinister look on his face. From the performance of the two Saiyans, he could tell that the woman in his hands should be more important. Unless you commit suicide, I will kill her immediately. Kurt immediately set out his own conditions. As long as this Super Saiyan dies, the remaining one will be nothing at all. Kurt, you're playing with fire. Lin Yan's gaze was a little cold again, and Saiyan's violent air emanated from his body. Kurd suddenly felt a thump in his heart. He clearly had a hostage in his hand, so there was no need to be afraid of him. Lin Yan, save me quickly. At this time, Bulma recovered from the panic, looked at Lin Yan with a face of fear, and asked for help. She originally wanted to see Lin Yan, but she was too excited just now, so she didn't see Kurd at all, and she didn't expect to bring trouble to Lin Yan. While I was scared, I was also very guilty. Stinky monkey, I'll count to 3, if you. Before Kurd's words fell, the open mouth suddenly paused. Not only the Kurds, but even Son Goku, Frieza and others are completely still. At this moment, it seems that the entire sky and the earth are completely still. Lin Yan held his breath, and appeared beside Kurd in a flash, pulling Bulma over and hugging him. The palm is aimed at Kurd's mouth. Call. After finishing this series of actions, I took a deep breath. Just when Lin Yan started breathing, time returned to normal again. Nani. Kurd's open mouth was still not closed, and a storm arose in his heart instantly. What's going on? Shock, unparalleled shock. What the hell happened just now? Obviously that woman was kidnapped by him just now, and that Saiyan is also dozens of feet away from him. Why did you appear in front of me in an instant and save that woman? Kurd didn't know what happened at all, and he looked dazed. It's not just Kurdish. Son Goku and Frieza are also full of doubts, not knowing what happened just now. That guy is too scary. Son Goku looked at Lin Yan with burning eyes, and said in a low voice. Chapter 51. At this time, Lin Yan's breath was very stable, without any sign of disorder. Casting the ability of time pause for 2 or 3 seconds is not as exhausting as before for him. Kurd, what you did just now is unforgivable. Lin Yan narrowed his eyes slightly, and the anger surged wildly in his pupils. Wait a minute, listen to me, I can give you all my planets, as long as you don't kill me. The father of the well-known universe Emperor Frieza, Kurd of the frozen demon family, was actually full of horror at this moment, begging for mercy in a trembling tone. Because the killing erupted from Lin Yan's body, he felt as if he was summoned by the god of death. He believed that with the strength of the Saiyan in front of him, he could kill him almost instantly. More importantly, my life-saving straw is no longer in my hands. All the planets. Sorry, I'm not interested, I just want your life now. Lin Yan opened his slightly squinted eyes, a icy light flashed out, and a terrifying wave of energy suddenly appeared in his palm. Without any hesitation, it directly hit Kurd's mouth. Boom! The energy wave instantly pierced Kurd's mouth and blasted directly towards Cooler. Boom! The next moment, the gravel and dust on the ground shot up into the sky again, rolling like a giant wave. And Kurd, whose face was full of horror, slowly fell down, his eyes filled with fear, despair and regret. Why did I follow Frieza to this garbage planet for revenge? Why didn't I listen to my ancestors' warnings and provoke these Super Saiyan? But it was obviously too late to regret it at this time, because he felt his vitality draining from his body bit by bit. Dad! Frieza cried out in horror. How is it possible? Dad was killed by that guy in an instant. At the same time, a sense of desperation rose from the bottom of my heart. Cooler lost his combat power, his father was instantly killed, and he was left alone. How could he be the opponent of 2 Super Saiyans? Is he going to die in the hands of that wild monkey again? So decisive to kill, this guy is exactly the same as Vegeta. Son Goku looked at Lin Yan, frowned and said. He didn't give Kurd any chance at all, and killed him directly. And Bulma, who was quietly lying in Lin Yan's arms, didn't seem to feel afraid because of Lin Yan's decisive killing, but looked at Lin Yan with some confusion and fascination, with a strange light in his eyes. It feels so safe in his arms at this moment. Strong strength, handsome appearance, and the feeling that made her feel extremely safe. Isn't this the Prince Charming that she had imagined countless times in her heart? After more than 20 years, finally, have you waited for him? When Bulma looked up again and looked at Lin Yan's handsome silhouette, he couldn't help but blushed, like a red apple. Hurry up and lower your head shyly. And Lin Yan didn't see the change on Bulma's face, but felt her face pressed tightly against his chest, and those 2 huge lumps of evil just stuck to his waist, which caused a burst of heat in his heart. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Kurd's body fell heavily into the deep pit. After the thick smoke dissipated, the bodies of Kurd and Cooler were lying at the bottom of the pit. Although they were not dead, half of their lives were gone. Seeing the two dying, Lin Yan aimed at Kurd and Cooler with one hand, and a blue energy ball condensed from his palm. But just when Lin Yan was about to make a move, he suddenly felt a very familiar aura. Vegeta, this guy is also on Earth. Lin Yan suddenly looked in the opposite direction, and Vegeta's breath came from that place. It was whispering in a low voice. Just as Lin Yan's voice fell, a pitch-black figure jumped out and landed directly in front of Kurd and Cooler. Aha! He slapped the bodies of Kurd and Cooler. The two who were already dying were completely killed by Vegeta in an instant. Cut. A human-headed dog. Lin Yan looked at Vegeta and muttered a sentence. I didn't expect this guy to hide for so long for the head. Even I didn't find out. Judging from Vegeta's attack just now, although the combat power has not reached 3 million, it should be almost the same. After all, when he was in Namek, his combat power was almost raised to about 1 million. And this guy is very harsh on himself when he cultivates, so it's not very surprising that he can have such a fighting power. Now that Kurd and Cooler are dead, let's die. Anyway, his purpose was to kill the two of them. As for who killed them, there is no need to worry so much. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. After killing both Kurd and Cooler suddenly, Vegeta snorted complacently and finally laughed wildly. I actually killed Kurd and Cooler who were stronger than Frieza. How could this make him unhappy? Vegeta, stinky monkey. Seeing Vegeta laughing triumphantly, Frieza was completely furious, never thinking that his father and big brother would die in the hands of that trash Vegeta. And what he did was so indecent. Vegeta, those two guys are really the same kind of people. Son Goku looked at Vegeta, then at Lin Yan, and said in a low tone. Both of these two are decisive people, the only difference should be their strength. HMPH, Frieza, is this your father and big brother? You're so weak. After killing the dying Kurd and Cooler in a sneak attack, Vegeta walked towards Frieza step by step. With a soft snort, he mocked Frieza contemptuously. When he was in Namek, Dodoria told him to save his life that the planet Vegeta was not destroyed by collisions with other planets but by Frieza. Although I don't care about these things, I don't even care about his father's life or death. But Frieza's behavior is a great shame for him. And now, killing Frieza's father and big brother with his own hands can be regarded as revenge for planet Vegeta, mainly to wash away the shame that Frieza brought to him. He. Vegeta, I didn't expect that even you, an ant that has crawled under my feet for so many years, would dare to laugh at me, Frieza. Frieza suddenly gave a dark smile. That smile was extremely evil, as creepy as a devil. A wild monkey that could easily be strangled to death by itself dared to show off its power in front of him. How could he, the majestic universe Emperor Frieza, swallow it? Just as the evil voice fell, the body burst out directly, rushing towards Vegeta. Even if you can't deal with the other two stinky monkeys today, you must kill the garbage Vegeta. Let him understand that he will never be able to surpass himself, and will always only be worthy of being trampled under his feet. Frieza, I've seen your movements clearly. Seeing Frieza rushing towards him, Vegeta yelled confidently, his body also burst out, and punched Frieza. Boom! The moment the punches collided, Vegeta's body went straight upside down. It is heavily embedded in the mountain 10 feet away. What? How did that regain his power? It's terrifying. Vegeta, who was still arrogant a second ago, suddenly looked heavy. With that punch just now, Frieza's strength far surpassed his own, and his entire arm has completely lost consciousness. Of course, in fact, he knew that his strength must not match Frieza. But he also has his own plan in mind. During this year, he summed up the reason why Lin Yan, a low-level Saiyan, can become a Super Saiyan. It was because when he was fighting Frieza, he was almost killed by Frieza who had used 100% of his strength. Hovering on the verge of death, he inspired the potential power of the fighting nation Saiyan, and turned into a Super Saiyan in one fell swoop. And now, I also want to use this method to stimulate the potential power in my body, so as to become a Super Saiyan. Cut. Since both of their junior Saiyans can become Super Saiyans, I, Vegeta, the dignified Saiyan Prince, cannot possibly fail to become a Super Saiyan as an elite warrior. Vegeta gritted his teeth and spoke in a low voice. It seems that Vegeta also wants to use the pressure of Frieza's attack to become a Super Saiyan. Lin Yan looked at Vegeta's expression and saw his plan at a glance. Vegeta's combat strength has almost reached 3 million. If the potential has not been developed by the Elder Namek, it has actually reached a limit. If it goes on, it can only become Super Saiyan. In all fairness, Vegeta's talent is really good. After all, he was born with a combat power of 1720 in some places, and other data, let's take it as 100 here. He is known as the genius warrior of planet Vegeta. It's just that in the past 20 years, Frieza has always sent Vegeta to other weak planets to invade, and there is no opponent, so his combat effectiveness has not improved much. It took more than 10 years to increase the combat effectiveness by 3,000 points. After the battle between Vegeta and Son Goku, the combat power has increased from 18,000 to 24,000 in just 1 month. After experiencing the battles of Dodoria, Sabo, Lickum and others, it has even increased to a strength of nearly 100,000. In this year's time, it directly reached the terrifying level of 3 million. Although this is inseparable from the fact that Saiyan will improve his combat power every time he recovers from near death. But it is also enough to see his outstanding talent. Die to me, Vegeta. After punching Vegeta, Frieza let out a sharp roar. Then the fingertips pointed directly at Vegeta, and Purple's energy beams bombarded Vegeta one after another. Boom boom boom. Horrific explosions sounded, and the giant peak behind Vegeta was directly shaken into rubble by the terrifying explosion. And Vegeta blocked his front with both arms, his arms were already dripping with blood, and his whole body was covered with large and small scars. The body is constantly retreated by the terrifying energy ball. But, how can I become a Super Saiyan? Vegeta gritted his teeth, suffered so many attacks from Frieza, and there was no trace of turning into Super Saiyan at all. What is going on? If this continues, let alone become Super Saiyan, he may be directly killed by Frieza. And those two fools, Lin Yan and Kakarot, had no intention of helping him at all. Vegeta, this time I will completely solve you. Seeing Vegeta retreating constantly, Frieza raised his fingertips high. Purple's energy ball directly became the size of a stone mill, and then threw it directly at Vegeta without holding back. It's over. Vegeta looked at the huge purple energy ball, his pupils locked instantly. He could feel that the energy ball contained enough energy to kill him. Boom! Purple's huge energy ball directly hit Vegeta's arms, and at that moment, Vegeta's complexion changed dramatically. In front of that energy ball, Vegeta's blocking is no different from blocking a car with a praying arm. There was no blocking effect at all, and the body was directly blasted out along with the energy ball. The battle suit of the whole body has been completely crushed by the powerful pressure, and the naked upper body has been stained red by blood. The blood on the arms is even more frenzied, which is shocking. At this moment, he has almost completely turned into a blood man. The pupils disappeared little by little, and turned into Kang White of Longdong, with an incomparably ferocious complexion, and a low voice came out of his throat. I am Vegeta, the proudest Saiyan Prince, the strongest universe warrior. How can I be surpassed by all of you? I should be the strongest Super Saiyan. Rumbling. The next moment, Purple's energy ball and Vegeta directly landed on the ground where Bazonkai was on. The earth trembled violently, trembling. The terrifying explosion stirred up a circle of powerful shock waves, and huge mushroom clouds soared into the sky. Vulnerable wild monkey. Frieza glanced venomously at the explosion in the distance. After enduring the horrible explosion just now, with Vegeta's strength, it is impossible to survive. Finally, the disgusting traitor Vegeta was completely solved. At this time, Lin Yan looked at the place filled with gunpowder smoke in the distance, and said in a low voice, "It seems that Vegeta really succeeded." Because at this moment Lin Yan could feel that after the horrible explosion just now, Vegeta's aura has not disappeared. On the contrary, it is even more powerful. Obviously, at the moment of facing life and death just now, Vegeta stimulated his potential, broke through his limit, and has become a Super Saiyan. I have to admit that this guy Vegeta not only has brains, but also has guts that is admirable. If in the explosion just now, he didn't break through the limit and become Super Saiyan, then he has been blasted to pieces now. And even if he died, no one would use the Dragon Ball to revive him. Fortunately, This gamble, Vegeta won the bet. That guy Vegeta turned into Super Saiyan 2. Son Goku frowned and spoke in a low voice. Lin Yan could feel Vegeta's incomparably powerful aura in that instant, and Son Goku could naturally feel it too. Vegeta's current aura is completely comparable to his own, which means that Vegeta, like himself, has also become a Super Saiyan. However, Son Goku was not too surprised. After all, Vegeta is the Prince of Saiyan, the elite warrior they call. It's up to you next, Wild Monkey. After finishing Vegeta, Frieza turned his attention to Son Goku. The reason why he didn't point the finger at Lin Yan first was because he felt that that guy was much stronger than the Son Goku in front of him. Although he wanted to admit it very much, he might not be that guy's opponent. Hey Frieza, take a good look, Vegeta hasn't been dealt with yet. Son Goku stared at Frieza, then pointed to the huge pit in the distance, and said in a flat tone. Nah, Nani. Hearing Son Goku's words, Frieza's body trembled slightly, with a look of horror on his face. Could it be that the horrible guy just exploded and didn't kill that guy Vegeta? No. Impossible. Although I couldn't believe it 10,000 times in my heart, my body still jumped up honestly, stopped in midair and looked towards the huge pit. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. And at this moment, Vegeta's incomparably excited laughter suddenly came from the giant pit. The laughter was so excited that it was uncontrollable. Rustle. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta's body slowly rose out of the huge pit. Kai, the upper body is bare, and the arrogance of gold surrounds the whole body, and the hair that was originally black has turned into golden yellow. There were bloodstains at the corners of his mouth and eyes, but the excitement on his face was very strong. Super Saiyan. Lao Su Vegeta has finally become a Super Saiyan. He. Slightly clenched his fists, feeling the incomparable power in his body, the corner of Vegeta's mouth drew a cruel arc. The power of Super Saiyan is so powerful that it is so terrifying. It's such a pleasant feeling. No. Impossible, even Vegeta became a Super Saiyan. Frieza's face was so ugly that it was about to drip ink. She shook her head and spoke in disbelief. A year ago, Vegeta was not even an ant in his eyes, but now he has become a Super Saiyan. That feeling is incomparably suffocating. Go to hell, smelly monkey. At the same time as the sharp roar sounded, Frieza's fingertips condensed Purple's energy again, and bombarded Vegeta one after another. Cut. Vegeta snorted coldly, his eyes full of disdain. He didn't dodge, evade, or block, and let the energy ball hit him. Rumbling. In an instant, countless energy balls exploded around Vegeta, turning into thick purple smoke. After a few puffs, Purple's smoke dissipated, and Vegeta's body appeared in everyone's sight. There was still an evil curve on the corner of his mouth, and the gold arrogance around him kept flickering. It seems that Frieza's attack this time did not cause any damage to Vegeta at all. Oh, Universe Emperor Frieza, is this the level of your attack? Immediately, Vegeta began to mock Frieza. At this moment, he felt extremely comfortable in his heart, because he had been waiting for this moment for many years. The strength above Frieza did not expect to be realized so soon. Wild monkey, don't get carried away. Frieza gritted his teeth, his facial features were completely distorted by the extreme anger, and roared hysterically. A mere Vegeta dares to laugh at himself like this. Then he raised his palms high, and Purple's energy ball condensed out again, instantly becoming the size of a basketball court. I'm going to blow you to pieces, wild monkey. After roaring again, he bowed his body, exerted force with both palms, and threw the energy ball raised high directly towards Vegeta. Snort. Looking at the huge purple energy ball, Vegeta snorted disdainfully. Aha! Then his body flashed, and he kicked the energy ball directly. The huge energy ball was kicked out by Vegeta directly, and landed in the lake in Beizong. Boom! The surface of the lake exploded in an instant, stirring up huge waves. After Vegeta kicked Frieza's energy ball away, his body flew directly towards Frieza. The speed was very fast, almost appearing in front of Frieza in the blink of an eye. Ah da da da! A voice of excitement came out of his throat, and his fists launched a hail of bullets at Frieza like machine guns. The shadow of the fist kept flashing around Frieza's body, and each punch was able to drive fierce energy. At this time, Vegeta's speed and strength had qualitatively changed compared to before. Frieza, is this your strength? It's simply too weak. The more Vegeta fought, the more excited he became. A big smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he looked at Frieza's various sarcasms without hesitation. Frieza's teeth were itching with anger, but the current Vegeta's combat power is indeed astonishingly high, and I'm afraid he has already surpassed himself. My current situation is quite bad. 3 Super Saiyans, all of whom are stronger than themselves. He never thought that the revenge that was originally planned would turn into this kind of result, and he created 2 Super Saiyan himself. Aha! Then, Vegeta punched Frieza's arms, and the terrifying force directly sent Frieza flying. The body smashed heavily into the ground. Flash cannon. After blasting Frieza away with one punch, Vegeta didn't hesitate at all. A terrifying ki blast condensed out of his palms, and directly pressed down on Frieza on the ground. Boom! The ground exploded instantly, collapsed layer by layer, and cracked continuously, spreading in all directions like a spider's web. After that, he looked at the dust rising from below with a cold face. Hoo-hoo! Heavy panting sounds came from the smoke and dust on the ground. After all the gunpowder smoke dissipated, Frieza's figure appeared in sight. At this moment, Frieza's body was covered with large and small wounds, with purple blood stains hanging from the corner of his mouth, and he was panting heavily. Obviously, although he withstood Vegeta's attack, he also suffered from serious physical problems. Because Frieza's chi has begun to drop sharply. That guy Vegeta is really strong. Son Goku raised his head, looked at the proud Vegeta in midair, pursed his lips and said softly. Excitement appeared in his eyes, and he felt the blood in his body start to boil. Every time he meets a strong opponent, he always has this kind of uncontrollable excitement. He was originally interested in fighting Frieza, but now it seems that fighting Vegeta will be more exciting. Frieza, you're done. Vegeta snorted coldly, and his body instantly disappeared into the air. Nah, Nani. Frieza was startled, with a look of horror on her face. At this time, Vegeta had already appeared behind Frieza, with a long arc raised at the corner of his mouth. Then he punched Frieza's back with lightning speed, and directly sent Frieza flying. Super Flash Cannon. A deep roar came from Vegeta's mouth, and he folded his palms together to form a flower shape, and Blue's energy ball appeared between Vegeta's palms. Ha ha ha. Then it went straight to Frieza. And because Frieza's body has endured Vegeta's terrifying attack, there is no way to change direction halfway to avoid it. Ah ah ah. A sharp scream came out of Frieza's throat, and then the body was swallowed directly into Blue's ki blast. Frieza's body was like cooking smoke straightened by the wind, and with a scream, his body disappeared into ki blast. And at this time, Frieza's anger has completely disappeared. Killing decisively, without delay, this is Vegeta's fighting style. Frieza was wiped out so easily. Good Vegeta. Son Goku walked towards Vegeta step by step, with a frenzied desire to fight in his eyes. Obviously the current Vegeta is very strong, so he can't help but want to fight Vegeta a few tricks. Go away Kakarot, we'll settle the bill later, I'm more interested in that guy now. Vegeta glanced at Son Goku coldly, said something to Son Goku in a cold tone, and then looked at Lin Yan. Although Kakarot has become a Super Saiyan like him, the fighting power of the two of them should be almost the same now. In contrast, Lin Yan's strength is higher than theirs, so Vegeta naturally wants to compete with Lin Yan, who has a higher fighting power. Oh, looks like that guy Vegeta is trying to trick me. Lin Yan smiled lightly, and said calmly, with a calm and breezy appearance. But just because Vegeta, who has just become a Super Saiyan, wants to fight against himself, it is tantamount to humiliating himself. One hand is enough to defeat him. Or, not even using one hand at all. Ah, Vegeta. Son Goku scratched his head in embarrassment, but speaking of it, that guy Lin Yan is indeed much stronger than himself. At least I can't beat Frieza's father and big brother casually. Well, Vegeta, if that's the case, then fight me after you fight Lin Yan. Son Goku smiled and stepped aside. He also wanted to watch the battle between Vegeta and Lin Yan, and by the way, see how strong Lin Yan is. At this time, Lin Yan's body slowly fell to the ground. The arms around Bulma also loosened. Vegeta stepped forward and looked at Lin Yan coldly. Although this guy saved himself twice, he didn't know why he always didn't like him. I always feel so disgusted with him. And that disgusting feeling was even stronger than that guy Kakarot. What's the matter, Vegeta, become Super Saiyan and want to challenge me? Lin Yan walked up to Vegeta step by step, and said with a smile on his face. TCH, although you were indeed stronger than me before, but now I have also become a Super Saiyan, it is not certain who is stronger and who is weaker. Vegeta snorted coldly, looked at Lin Yan and said. It's also Super Saiyan. He doesn't believe how strong Lin Yan can be. It seems that you are indeed a little overconfident, so let me let you know that there are strengths and weaknesses in Super Saiyan. Lin Yan's expression is still as calm as water. Now, after copying Broly's talent, even if he is normal, it is very easy to defeat Vegeta who has just become Super Saiyan. Vegeta frowned tightly. This guy's strategizing posture and expression really made people uncomfortable. Then I'll show you the power of my Super Vegeta, quickly become a Super Saiyan. Vegeta couldn't wait to show Lin Yan his incomparable combat power, pointing at Lin Yan and said in a cold voice. Super Saiyan, you don't have to be a Super Saiyan to deal with you. Although Lin Yan's tone is still flat, it's not hard to hear the frivolous and disdainful tone. But, hateful thing, dare to look down on me Super Vegeta. Vegeta clenched his fist tightly, furious instantly. That guy must not know how terrifying it is to become a Super Saiyan himself. That Lin Yan guy wants to fight Vegeta without changing Super Saiyan. Son Goku was taken aback. After turning into Super Saiyan, his combat power increased 50 times almost instantly. Lin Yan should be very clear about this matter. No matter how strong he is, there should be no way to deal with Vegeta without becoming a Super Saiyan. Is that guy really capable of beating Vegeta on a regular basis, or is he just putting on airs? Rationally, it is impossible to fight Super Saiyan whose strength has increased 50 times, but that guy Lin Yan seems to have a well thought out plan. It doesn't seem like you're putting on airs, playing tricks. Come on Vegeta, let me see how powerful your Super Vegeta is. Lin Yan waved at Vegeta and said jokingly. After becoming Super Saiyan, Vegeta must think that he is invincible now. We must let him know that there is a sky beyond the sky, and there are people in the sky, otherwise, with his arrogant character, he will be complacent without an opponent. By the way, let Son Goku next to him see that Saiyan's power is not just as simple as Super Saiyan. Crazy trash, let me Super Vegeta punch you. Vegeta roared, his body flashed out instantly, and directly attacked Lin Yan. Aha, Vegeta's speed is also quite fast. Of course, this is only for ordinary people. In Lin Yan's opinion, it is only a little faster than a snail. Vegeta's fist appeared in front of Lin Yan in an instant, only 10 centimeters away from Lin Yan's mouth. The corner of Vegeta's mouth curled up in a triumphant arc. In his opinion, it was impossible for Lin Yan to avoid such a short distance. And judging by his appearance, he was simply overwhelmed by his own speed, and he didn't react at all. Lin Yan, you lost. Vegeta roared excitedly. His fist was only 10 centimeters away from him, and it was impossible for him to avoid it. It seemed that at this moment, he had already seen the scene where Lin Yan was blown away by his own punch, and he couldn't help feeling refreshed when he thought of this. The strongest Super Saiyan is really only King Vegeta. What's going on? That Lin Yan guy still doesn't dodge. Son Goku was also shocked by Lin Yan's actions. I don't know whether he was confident, or he was really overwhelmed by Vegeta's fierce attack, and forgot to dodge for a while. This kind of distance, if it were me, it would be impossible to avoid it. Under the complacent and shocked gazes of Vegeta and Son Goku, Lin Yan withdrew his right foot slightly and turned his body slightly. The whole person is like a loach, and when Vegeta's fist was only 1 centimeter away from Lin Yan's mouth, it was dodged by the side of his body. Vegeta's fist didn't even touch Lin Yan's clothes. Nani. Vegeta's pupils constricted in an instant, and the smug expression just now was instantly covered by a deep shock. At such a close distance, how could that trash escape his fist? No, impossible, this is absolutely impossible. And he didn't turn into Super Saiyan at all, how could he have such a fast dodging speed? Coincidence, it must be a coincidence. After being deeply shocked, Vegeta could only regard Lin Yan's evasion just now as a coincidence. But when Vegeta was about to attack again, Lin Yan directly raised his right knee and pressed it against Vegeta's lower abdomen. Wow! A ferocious look appeared on Vegeta's face instantly, and the severe pain came from his lower abdomen, causing his pupils to constrict uncontrollably. Spit out the filthy stuff in his belly. That knee strike made him feel as if he had been hit by a locomotive, and a gust of wind shook his stomach. The whole body bows like a cooked prawn. Then Lin Yan raised his right hand and lightly patted Vegeta on the back. Snapped. Although it looked very light, Vegeta's body hit the ground heavily like a comet falling. Rumbling. Vegeta's body directly smashed the ground into a huge pit. After a few puffs, the smoke dissipated, and Vegeta's body was lying on the bottom of the pit, with both fists on the ground. But at this time, Vegeta's hair has turned into black, and the gold arrogance around him has disappeared, and he has withdrawn from the Super Saiyan form. Because of the severe pain and anger, his face became very ugly, and his whole face was almost twisted into a ball. But Vegeta hit the ground with a heavy punch, and the ground cracked instantly. Obviously I have become a Super Saiyan. How could I be as weak as a child in front of that guy? I, Vegeta, should be the strongest Super Saiyan. Not only Vegeta, but also Son Goku's eyes were full of horror. Unbelievably, he opened his mouth wide, and was able to deal with Frieza's Super Saiyan Vegeta in a very short time, but he was dealt with in 2 easy moves like that. Is that Lin Yan guy really strong enough to be almost terrifying? However, the shock was shocking, but the desire to fight in my heart became commotion again. The blood in the body is constantly tumbling. He is very clear that he cannot be Lin Yan's opponent now, because his strength is almost the same as Vegeta's. Even if he is higher, he will not be much higher. Since Lin Yan can defeat Vegeta in an instant, he also has the ability to defeat his own strength in an instant. However, this does not affect his desire to fight Lin Yan. Maybe this is the blood of the fighting nation Saiyan in his body at work. He must experience for himself how terrifying Lin Yan's strength is. After thinking about it, the excited face walked towards Lin Yan step by step. It didn't stop until it was less than 2 meters away from Lin Yan. You want to challenge me too? Son Goku, hereafter referred to as Son Goku. Looking at the excited Son Goku, Lin Yan said lightly. He knows that Son Goku is a fighting maniac. The stronger the opponent, the more he can arouse his desire to fight. Let him feel unparalleled excitement. Even though I know it's not your opponent, I still want to experience how strong it is to instantly defeat Vegeta. Son Goku still had an excited look on his face, nodded and said. Then come on. Lin Yan didn't refuse either, but nodded. Feel the gap between yourself and yourself, it should be able to stimulate Son Goku's potential even more. After all, I can't just become stronger by myself. In the days to come, Son Goku and Vegeta will also be a powerful fighting force for the entire 7th universe. When they are not on the Earth, they can also protect the Earth. Hey, it's really exciting. Son Goku spread his feet apart, his center of gravity sank slightly, and his hands were clawed, making his most classic fighting posture. And Lin Yan still had a relaxed expression on his face, and he didn't make any defensive posture at all. Then, I attacked, The next moment, Son Goku kicked his feet on the ground, and the ground exploded directly, and his body shot out like an arrow from the string. The clenched fist hit Lin Yan. Looking at Son Goku's menacing fist, Lin Yan showed no signs of panic at all, and his body was even more motionless. Perhaps in the eyes of ordinary people, Son Goku's speed is too fast to be seen with the naked eye, but in Lin Yan's view, Son Goku's speed is actually quite slow. Even when the fist was only 5 centimeters away from him, it was still easy for him to dodge it. Seeing that Son Goku's fist was about to land on his chest, Lin Yan dodged it easily with a flash of his body. It's just that at the moment Lin Yan dodged, Son Goku suddenly stopped his attacking fist, and his body appeared behind Lin Yan in a flash. He kicked Lin Yan in the middle and swept over. The combat experience is indeed richer than Vegeta's. Seeing Son Goku's sudden attack, Lin Yan praised secretly in his heart. If it is an ordinary opponent, it is really possible to be deceived by Son Goku's tricks. It's just that in front of Lin Yan, the difference in strength between the two is too great. Therefore, this opportunistic fighting method has no substantial effect. Brush. Son Goku's leg directly carried the momentum of piercing through the air, kicked Lin Yan's waist, and directly penetrated through it. Nani. Afterimage. Son Goku reacted instantly. But it wasn't too unexpected. If Lin Yan was deceived by his own trick, he would be surprised. At this time, Lin Yan's body had already appeared behind Son Goku, his palm was directly aimed at Son Goku's back, and an energy ball condensed out. But it didn't blast out. A strong sense of danger rose from his heart in an instant, and his body didn't even need to look back to know that Lin Yan appeared behind him. Son Goku didn't turn his head back, he jumped forward quickly, and after landing 3 feet away, he turned his head quickly. Good. So fast. Son Goku was terrified, he didn't realize how Lin Yan appeared behind him just now. Just like a ghost. He was very clear in his heart that Lin Yan obviously didn't mean to attack him just now. If it was not a simple contest but a fight to the death, he would definitely be a cold corpse now. He has no doubts about this. Are you still coming? Lin Yan slowly withdrew his palm, and the energy ball in his palm dissipated completely, looking at Son Goku and asking. Well, come again. Son Goku fixed his gaze, and said with a smile. Anyway, Lin Yan will not kill himself. Every time he fights with him, he can develop his own shortcomings. This is more conducive to the improvement of your own strength. After the voice fell, Son Goku's body flashed out again. The shadow of the fist was like the wind, and it attacked Lin Yan like a torrential rain. Da da da. Accompanied by a deep roar, Son Goku's fists kept darting around Lin Yan's body, sending out hundreds of punches in an instant, but none of them could touch Lin Yan's body. Without even moving his footsteps, he dodged all of Son Goku's attacks. Unexpectedly. You can't even hit a punch. The faster Son Goku played, the more shocked he became in his heart. This guy is really too terrifying. There is no need to shoot at all, and it is impossible for him to defeat him. Okay, today's game ends here. A faint voice suddenly spit out from Lin Yan's mouth, and then he pointed at Son Goku directly, and met Son Goku's fist. Boom! A low, muffled sound came out, and Son Goku's charged attack was actually blocked. And it was blocked with just one finger. If Lin Yan turned into Super Saiyan, he would not be too shocked if he lowered his fist with one finger. Because after all, this guy turned into Super Saiyan a year ago. Now he must be even more terrifying. But now he didn't become Super Saiyan, but took his fist with one finger, just relying on normality, which made him feel a bit unbelievable. Well, although I am very unwilling, it is impossible to hit you if I continue to fight. Son Goku withdrew his fist, although he was a little regretful, but there was still a little excitement on his face. Because Lin Yan let him know that the power of Saiyan is not just as simple as Super Saiyan. There is still a lot of room for improvement. And myself, I must work hard to catch up with Lin Yan's footsteps, and see where Saiyan's limit is. Call. After retracting his fist, Son Goku exhaled lightly and returned to normal. Okay. So amazing, neither Goku nor Vegeta as his opponent. Bulma looked at Lin Yan with admiration, his big watery eyes sparkling. Originally he thought that Goku was the strongest in the world, and then Vegeta appeared who defeated Goku. Then came the super powerful monster Frieza, but was killed by Vegeta in the end. But even so, Vegeta was settled after a few chats with Lin Yan. It's really amazing. From Son Goku's eyes, Lin Yan saw the look of admiration. It seems that the battle just now gave him some preliminary understanding of his own strength. But what Son Goku and Vegeta don't know is that the power they just displayed is just the tip of the iceberg. If they show their full strength, I believe they will be so surprised that their mouths will drop to the ground. Of course, the strong desire to fight in Son Goku's eyes has not weakened at all, and has even become stronger. Your strength is indeed stronger than me and Vegeta too much. We are not your opponents, but sooner or later I will reach your level, or even surpass your level, hee. Son Goku clenched his fist and said a little excitedly. Cut. Vegeta turned his head away, not wanting to see these two guys that he hated. Then you guys, come on. Lin Yan shrugged. Other than that, he couldn't think of how to respond to Son Goku's words. Because of their own strength, even if they stand still, it will take them several years to catch up with them. And with his current talent for cultivation, how could he keep standing still? So the two of them want to surpass themselves, which is tantamount to nonsense. And at this time, after all the battles were over, Bulma came to Lin Yan's side, a blush appeared on his face, and he said coquettishly, I'm sorry Lin Yan, the situation was urgent before, and I didn't go through it. Your consent allows Shenron to summon you to Earth. I don't know why, I obviously don't have such a personality on weekdays, how could I become a shy little woman in front of Lin Yan in an instant? It doesn't matter, if I don't want to come back, Shenron has no ability to teleport me to Earth. Lin Yan smiled shallowly, looked at Bulma and said. In the previous month, he originally planned to go to the planet Udelit to learn the instant transmission ability, but after leaving the planet Wampa, he realized that he wanted to find the planet Udelit in the vast universe, and not an easy task. So after half a month wandering around on an inferior planet, Shenron happened to be summoned to Earth. Then do you want to leave now? Suddenly, a look of hope appeared in Bulma's eyes, and after Lin Yan's voice fell, he hurriedly asked. Then look forward to Lin Yan's answer. Well, I have to leave Earth for a while now. Lin Yan nodded and spoke. The Frieza father and son have been eliminated, and in the next 3 years, there will be no strong opponents on Earth. This is not a good thing for me, and the comfortable life will not allow me to make further breakthroughs in my strength. So now I have to fight with stronger opponents, so that my strength can be improved faster. And in the previous month, he had been thinking about this question. On the current Earth, even if the artificial man appears 3 years later and the cell becomes a perfect body, it is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. So he set his sights on other universes and other time and space. And his idea is that the 6th universe, which is closest to the 7th universe, also has the time and space of Dragon Ball. Whether it's hit from the 6th universe, or Super 4 Son Goku from GT Time and Space, or Super Omega Shenron and others, they will be your best choice now. But at this time, he was also in a bit of a dilemma. It was not an easy task to go to these two places. First, he doesn't even know where the 6th universe is now, and even if he knows, it will definitely take a long time for ordinary universe spaceships to reach it. Second, with the current level of technology, Bulma and Dr. Breves want to build a universe spaceship, which is not realistic at present. This is also something that makes him very embarrassed now. Then, are you going to leave now? The look of hope on Bulma's face disappeared, and he spoke with some disappointment. I didn't expect to see Lin Yan for such a short time just now, and he was about to leave, so I felt a little disappointed. Bulma also knew in her heart that she seemed to really like the one in front of her. She had only seen it a few times, and had only known her for more than a year. Because in the past year, the scene of Namek crying in Lin Yan's arms, as well as his gentle eyes and comforting words, have been lingering in my heart, lingering. And the sense of security he felt when he rescued himself from that villain just now made his affection even stronger. No, it may take a while, because I need your help. Lin Yan looked at Bulma with a slightly disappointed face, and said softly. At this time, Bulma was a little bit lost, a little bit shy, and seemed to have a charming feeling, which touched Lin Yan's heart. When we first met, Bulma was beautiful and amazing in his eyes, but now, that feeling seems to have begun to change. Real. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Bulma suddenly looked up and asked excitedly. The disappointment on his face disappeared in an instant. Really? Lin Yan nodded and said seriously. If I want to go to the 6th universe and the time and space of Dragon Ball, I really need the help of Bulma, a mechanical genius, now. And during this time, he can also develop a good relationship with Bulma. Anyway, he could also see that Bulma seemed to have secretly developed feelings for him a long time ago. Hey Bulma, why are you feeling a little weird today? Son Goku looked at Bulma with an excited expression. She had rarely seemed so excited before. And the posture of the little woman just now is completely different from the Bulma I knew before. No, Goku, don't talk nonsense. After being told by Son Goku, Bulma's face became even more flushed red. Zhao Didi looks like a ripe red apple. It's an uncomfortable feeling. Vegeta glanced at Lin Yan and Son Goku, snorted coldly, and then disappeared into the air in a flash. I always feel that being with these two guys makes him very unhappy. After going back, my strength has improved again, so I must take good care of these two annoying guys. After Vegeta left, Son Goku also left, and now he is more worried about how Piccolo is doing and whether he has recovered. Lin Yan took Bulma back to Bulma's home. Now that I think about it, although I am very strong and I don't have many opponents in the entire 7th universe, but I don't even have my own house, which is really sad enough. But fortunately, he will not be polite to his father-in-law's things in the future. At Lin Yan's current speed, He arrived at Bulma's house in just 3 minutes, and this is because he considered that Bulma didn't fly too fast. You just said that you need my help, what is it? After waiting home, Bulma asked directly. He knew that Lin Yan's request for her help must have something to do with the mechanical problems of the universe spacecraft. Because of other things, I couldn't help myself. I need a time machine, can you make it now? Lin Yan said straight to the point. After thinking about it, he still chose to go to the time and space of Dragon Ball. When he arrived at that time and space, he should also be able to become Super Saiyan 4. At that time, his own strength will inevitably skyrocket, so even if Gods of Destruction Beerus arrives on Earth, he will have nothing to do with him. Maybe the me at that time could fight against Angel. It's just that these are all my own fantasies now, because Dragon Ball is not the same time and space as the present after all, and I don't know if the time machine can return to that time and space. Time machine. Bulma was taken aback, he had never heard of such a thing. Didn't even think about it. That's right, it's a time machine that can travel through time and space. Lin Yan explained seriously again. Hearing Lin Yan's determined tone, Bulma frowned slightly, shook her head slowly, and said, "No, I don't have that ability at all now, and even if I understand it, the current level of technology is not up to the ability to travel through time and space." To that extent. Bulma's answer was very direct, because she had never touched this kind of thing, so she couldn't do it at all. Even her father, Dr. Breves, may not be able to develop a machine that can travel through time and space. That thing is a bit too far away for them now. Is that really the case? Lin Yan frowned, and said a little discouraged. In Dragon Ball Super, Bulma thought about making a time machine and the energy of the time machine, but it was only because of the blueprint of the future Bulma that she was able to make it finally destroyed by Beerus. Without any prompts, there is really no way to complete the production of the time machine. From this point of view, the time and space of Dragon Ball is temporarily unable to go. Then he has no other choice, and that is to go to the 6th universe. Presumably by fighting that guy Hit, one's own strength will also be qualitatively improved. Sorry, I really can't do anything about this. Looking at the discouraged Lin Yan, Bulma said apologetically. It's okay, I'm just asking casually. Lin Yan spread his hands indifferently and said. After all, I don't have to go to the Dragon Ball time and space now, and even if I create a time machine, I may not be able to reach that time and space. Bulma, didn't you bring back Nappa's universe spaceship? Lin Yan looked at Bulma and asked suddenly. Since I can only go to the 6th universe now, I can only use the universe spaceship without learning instant transmission. It's just that my spaceship has been left behind on the Wampa planet, so I can only use the universe spaceship that Nappa took when he arrived on Earth. Oh, yes, Bulma nodded and said. Then can you help me increase its speed to the fastest? I need the fastest spaceship in the universe. Lin Yan asked urgently. In his heart, he suddenly thought of a feasible solution. Although I don't know the exact location of the 6th universe now, and the distance is quite far away, there must be someone who knows. And he's sure to be able to carry himself to the 6th universe. As long as he finds that guy, it's equivalent to finding the 6th universe. That's fine, but are you going somewhere far away? Bulma nodded, and then asked again. In fact, she already knew the answer in Lin Yan's words, and now she just wanted to confirm it. Yes, a very far away place. There is indeed a very long distance between the 6th universe and the 7th universe. It's just that Lin Yan didn't tell Bulma about the 6th universe, because even if he told her now, he probably didn't understand it very well, so he simply told her that it was a very far away place. Then, how long will you be going? Bulma asked again. Everything before was just foreshadowing, and this sentence is what she wants to ask the most. How long will Lin Yan go to that distant place? When can I see him again? 3 years. Up to 3 years, Lin Yan said with a serious expression. 3 years later, when I come back. 3 years later, he must come back, for the sake of infinite energy, and also for the first beauty of the Dragon Ball to create human number 18. As a time traveler, he didn't want a flower to be planted on the head of this little bald guy like Keelan. Of course, I don't dislike Keelan, and sometimes I even like him better. It's just that I simply feel that Keelan is a bit incompatible with No. 18. Hearing Lin Yan's words, Bulma was startled, but nodded. She also understood what Lin Yan meant by waiting for him for 3 years. Okay, the rest of the time will be hard on you, Bulma. Lin Yan patted Bulma's shoulder and said. In the days that followed, Bulma and Dr. Breves started to help Lin Yan transform the universe spaceship again. Fortunately, the two were still very enthusiastic about the mechanical aspect, otherwise, to be honest, I would feel a little guilty. Of course, Lin Yan didn't ask Bulma to help transform the universe spaceship all day long, but in the rest of the time, he would take Bulma to eat, go shopping and so on. The relationship between the two has also become more intimate in a subtle way, and basically they are just short of the final touch. In this way, time passed day by day, and a month passed quickly. During this month, Son Goku and Son Gohan went to the Namek Ball again, and used Namek's Shenron Palenga to resurrect Kling, who was killed by Frieza. And Lin Yan's universe spaceship has also been remodeled, equipped with the most advanced engine installations and stored spare energy. Just when Lin Yan was about to leave, Son Goku, Son Gohan and others also came to see him off. Lin Yan also has some things that he wants to tell them. What? Artificial man? After hearing Lin Yan's words, Son Goku, Son Gohan, and Keelan were puzzled. According to Lin Yan, 3 years later, there will be 5 artificial humans on the Earth, and their strength is very powerful. Even Super Saiyan's Son Goku may not necessarily be their opponent. Are they from the universe? Son Goku frowned and asked in a deep voice. He basically didn't have any doubts about Lin Yan's words now. Since he said so, he would definitely not use this kind of thing to deceive them. No. They were all made by Dr. Zhe Luo of the former Red Silk Army. Some are pure robots, and 2 are transformed by humans. Son Goku opened his mouth to explain. Robots no. 16, number 19 and Dr. Zhe Luo himself are purely machine transformations. As for number 17 and number 18, they were transformed on the basis of human beings. What? Dr. Luo Bo of the Red Silk Army, he can actually create an artificial human comparable to Super Saiyan. Everyone was full of astonishment. You must know that Super Saiyan is an existence that can kill even the universe Emperor Frieza. Unexpectedly, Dr. Zhe Luo, a scientist on the Earth, could create such a terrifying artificial human. It does make them a little weird. Such a strong opponent, it's still a bit exciting to think about it. Son Goku clenched his fist, and his face showed excitement. But at that time, whether you can participate in the battle is still unknown. Looking at the excited Son Goku, Lin Yan said. Because in Dragon Ball, Son Goku has already suffered from chronic heart disease, and the virus will break out completely in 3 years. In the future time and space of Trunks, Son Goku died directly before the artificial man appeared because there is no special medicine. Didn't take part in the battle of the cyborgs. It's just that this time and space, probably because of my own appearance, disrupted the order of time and space, resulting in Trunks not appearing until now. Did not bring special medicine to the present Son Goku. I may not be able to participate in the battle with artificial humans, why? Son Goku asked in puzzlement. Because you are suffering from chronic heart disease now, and it will break out completely in 3 years. If there is no special medicine to resist heart disease at that time, you will die. Lin Yan didn't hide anything, and spoke directly and truthfully. Anyway, there is nothing to hide. If you don't tell me and Trunks doesn't appear in the future, Son Goku will really be hopeless if he finds out too late. No way, I'm actually a bit unwilling to die from a heart attack. Son Goku clenched his fists tightly, and he didn't seem to be worried about dying, but instead felt unwilling because he couldn't fight against the artificial man. Not to mention Son Goku, even Bulma, Son Gohan, Keelan and others on the side all looked dumbfounded. With Son Goku's physical fitness, how could he have a chronic heart disease? It's simply impossible. Lin Yan uncle, are you telling the truth? Will Dad really die of a heart attack? Son Gohan asked with a worried face, frowning. Although Saiyan's body is very strong, he still can't resist the virus attack, but you don't have to worry too much. Maybe 3 years later, a special drug for heart disease has been developed. Lin Yan can only explain it this way, but he is thinking in his heart that people from the future time and space will appear and bring special medicine to Son Goku. As for the artificial man, there is no need to worry at all, because after 3 years, I will definitely return to the Earth, and there is no need for Son Goku and the others to resist the artificial man. But even though Lin Yan said so, it still made everyone panic. If there is no special medicine developed by then, wouldn't Son Goku be sure to die? Also, try not to use Kaioken in the future. Although this skill can double your strength in an instant, it also puts a heavy burden on your body, especially your heart, which will speed up the spread of your heart disease virus. Speed. Finally, Lin Yan reminded Son Goku again. Well, no matter what, thank you for your reminder. I will definitely participate in the battle of artificial humans in 3 years' time. Son Goku squeezed his fist and said to Lin Yan with firm eyes. No matter what, I will persist until the artificial humans appear and fight them. Then, I'll go first, take care of Bulma. Lin Yan walked in front of Bulma, put his hands on Bulma's shoulders, and said softly. Wait for me to come back, 3 years, just 3 years. Well, I'll wait for you. Bulma's eyes sparkled, and he nodded heavily, with a look of reluctance. After bidding farewell to Bulma, Lin Yan didn't stay any longer, set foot on the spaceship of Universe, and started the journey to the 6th universe. But before that, he had to go to another place. Planet Del 8. Learn their instant transmission ability. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.